everyone, welcome back to Drawn by Annie channel. This is me, Annie, and I will be drawing for you today. Grab your tea, coffee and snacks and let's dive into today's video. Today I am going to indulge in something painty, shiny and crafty, as I have some crafting materials laying around for a while and I wanted to kind of put them into use. So today's artwork is going to be a little bit more fun than I usually do, because I want to use those shiny rhinestone stickers and I had the idea in my mind cook for a while. So today I'm finally going to assemble the thoughts and the crafting materials into the whole new little creation. For today's drawing, I'm going to use the canvas board. It's pretty thick and I will not be worrying about how many layers I can put, because no matter how many layers I'm putting, it's not going to bend like regular paper, for example. For the initial sketch, I'm using an erasable colored sketching pencil. For the rest of the coloring, I'm going to use acrylic paint markers. So, Christmas is already around the corner and I wanted to paint something magical to kind of help my inner child remember her emotions that she has felt around Christmas time when she was small. And in my memories, Christmas is always a quiet holiday with the family and a magical vibe for some reason. Maybe because each year me and my sister, we have found a bag of candies under the Christmas tree that magically appeared overnight. I'm so grateful for my parents to have made this wonderful memory that still lives in my mind till this day, and I'm trying to cherish this memory for as long as I can, hopefully till the rest of my life. So in these feelings and magical thoughts, I wanted to paint something magical that would match the vibe of my memory, but the only difference I want to make is to use a pastel color palette, because the colors of the memory are actually different in my mind. But anyway. And I've always wanted to have one of these Christmas balls, you know, the ones when you are shaking them, they have a snowy, sparkly storm happening inside of it. So I had this idea in mind and I wanted to add something more to it, and I needed to put something inside of this ball as well. So I went to Pinterest to look for some inspiration and I found this amazing idea where people are putting rhinestones or the paintings, and I instantly remembered that I've bought quite a few packs of those shiny rhinestone stickers a while back for another project, but I have some of them left over. So I thought to myself that this is a sign. A divine intervention in my creative mind. So yeah, I just kind of went for it. My only concern was that the stickers were pretty old, and even though they were inside a package, I wasn't sure if they're going to stick to the painting, so I also prepared some glue in case they're going to not stick properly. I'm just going to glue them in and I'm gonna force them to stay on the plate. But all that's for later. First, we have to finish our painting, everything, before we put any rhinestone on top, because it will be very hard to fix a painting later if there's anything on top of it. So firstly, I'm marking myself a sketch, a round ball and base for the ball. I'm trying to center it as much as I can, and then I'm just sketching out the Christmas tree, and I'm not really diving into any details because I'm going to paint over it anyway, and I'm also going to stick all the rhinestones on top of the Christmas tree as if they were Christmas ornaments. So as soon as I'm done with the sketch, more or less, I'm going to dive right in with my markers and mark out the background first, and then I'm going to color the Christmas ball itself. And I don't want to make it clean this time. I kind of wanted to make very sketchy and messy, because that's what brings my mind joy. And for some reason, I tend to like the acrylic painting more if it's a little bit on the messier side. So I'm just going to indulge in the painting process and put the strokes wherever I feel they go to. And I don't really know what exactly I'm doing. I'm just kind of going with the gut here, because I am not good at explaining painting because I haven't really learned it. So I'm just trying to use my own artistic experience and put whatever colors wherever they feel right to be put on. Hopefully in a new year I am going to paint with acrylic markers and paints in general a little bit more often, and would be able to understand and explain what exactly I'm doing and where I'm putting my paints and why. Let this be one of the New Year's resolution, hopefully. So as I mentioned already, I wanted to paint something with pastel color palette, so I am picking up the pinks, purples, blues, and a little yellows. I don't have too much different colors, but I'm going to mix and match them and layer them a little bit, so hopefully they will be enough variety for showing the form and like shininess of the crystal ball. So for the starters, I'm always putting the base layer, whichever color matches to the thing that I'm coloring. For example, for the base it would be light yellow, and for the background I chose pink and purple. I think this color palette is quite easy to use even for beginners, so I feel like it's safe option for me to go for. The only thing that I'm trying to keep in mind while painting all of this is that the crystal ball itself and its base as well, they are both shiny materials. So the crystal ball is made of glass and the base is made of gold or like semi-gold metal, and both of these materials tend to have a lot of reflections. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put some of the pink color on top of the crystal ball and the base to make it appear like it's reflecting the color of the table it stands on. I hope that makes sense. I'm not too good at explaining basic things. If you want to learn art like this from basics, it's better you go to art school. And what applies to the Christmas tree is actually otherwise, because it's a natural material and it doesn't have much reflections, even though it has a lot of volume. And in order to show that volume, we have to place some different shades of green on top of each other, so it would appear that there are many branches and it's quite puffy or fluffy, whatever you call it. So I'm starting off with the darker green color, and then I'm putting some more lighter greens on top in a similar application technique with the tiny strokes that would appear like these are like small branches, so that it feels like the spruce is actually very puffy because some of the branches catch more light and they are on a surface level of the tree, and some are deeper into the trunk of the spruce tree, which makes them appear way darker because they're in shadow. Remember how I already told in my several previous videos how the acrylic paint is very forgiving medium? So you can see me proving this point because I decided I would try and cover the Christmas tree with the surface of the glass ball, and I thought it would appear way darker because the light color is not very opaque and it's semi-transparent, I would say. And I thought it would look nice, but when I actually tried it out, I didn't really like how it appeared, and the rhinestones wouldn't make so much sense because they would also appear like on the surface of the glass ball. So I decided to just paint the Christmas tree all over again on top of this blue and pretend that nothing has actually happened. And now I proceed with decorating the Christmas tree with the rhinestones. Nothing too much complicated, I'm just dipping them into the PVA glue and placing them on the Christmas tree wherever I feel like. Honestly, I still don't have, till this day, a single Christmas ball, even though I really like how it looks. But wherever I go and whenever I walk around the shops and see the prices on them, I'm kinda amazed on how expensive they actually are. So every time I wanna go and buy myself one, I just cannot because it's too expensive. And as a responsible adult, I cannot let myself waste money like this. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong and overthinking it too much, but it's just, I don't know, I feel so guilty when I'm just wasting money like this when they could be put to so much more use, like, charity or just simple things like food and clothing. Especially when I see a lot of messages and requests for donations, for example, for animal shelters. This always makes me kind of sad when I'm using my money not to help someone, but to just indulge into some silly thing. Like, yeah, of course, I can spend $50 to buy a nice Christmas ball, but this $50 could actually prolong someone's life for a week or even a month. So thoughts like that always infest my mind, and it's really hard for me to enjoy the material things that are not a necessity, if you know what I mean. Maybe because I come from a poorer family by the international standards, and I remember how our family struggled when we were small with my sister and how our parents worked so hard to provide to us. And honestly, this was especially noticeable during Christmas holidays when everybody was receiving gifts and candies, and this was always a high cost month because you have to give gifts to all of your family members and friends, and you don't want to leave out anybody because you want them to be happy, right? And I know many of you will say that money can't buy happiness, blah, 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 but actually a lot of happiness comes with material comfort, and material comfort is bought for money actually. So yeah, this topic is quite delicate for many. And if I were to make one wish for humanity to fulfill, I wish that everybody would have enough resources to fill their basic needs and necessities. Because when that one is filled and everybody has enough food and have a good shelter and they have a clothing, everything else can be so much easier, more achievable. And it basically cures most of the struggles for people, especially in poorer families, including physical health, mental health, and all of the bucket of problems that comes along with the stressful life, And I honestly think that the world would become a much better place if everybody would be able to not think about their tomorrow survival and just do whatever they are happy and comfortable with. And I believe that most of the people would actually start doing things from perspective of being happier in the future and making everybody else's life happier as well, rather than just exist like most of people are now. Anyway, thank you so much for listening to my TED Talks. I tend to start sharing my philosophical thoughts by the end of the video because there's just so much I can talk about the art process. And I sincerely hope that you enjoyed my yapping. And if you have anything to add to my thoughts or discuss, or maybe you have another point, please feel free to drop them down in the comments and I will be happy to discuss it with you. I'm really glad that I actually made this piece because now it feels like I have my own little crystal ball at my table. And I'm pretty happy with the result, honestly. I really like the idea of putting rhinestones on the canvas, so maybe probably in the future I'm going to do some other paintings with the same idea in mind. Hope you enjoyed the process as much as I did. If you like my artwork and you want to see more of this type of content, feel free to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel. Wishing you a magical day ahead, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.